The idea that demons are fallen angels is never specifically told to us in the Bible, and yet this is a tradition that's more or less accepted as being true, particularly within the Abrahamic faiths. These theories have evolved over time, but the core of it is that God created the angels, and thus the angels had to be good, but that at some point, Lucifer rebelled and fell from heaven, taking a third of the angels with him. So it's these angels that turned bad after they'd been created, and it is these angels, now fallen angels, who according to this tradition became demons. The notion that demons are fallen angels originates primarily from both biblical and extra-biblical texts. However, these texts do not always present a fully coherent or unified account, leaving room for interpretation and theological debate. As aforementioned, the Hebrew Bible does not explicitly refer to demons as fallen angels. However, certain passages suggest the presence of rebellious spiritual beings. The most prominent example is in Isaiah 14:12-15, where the prophet speaks of the fall of Lucifer, often interpreted as a poetic representation of the rebellious angel. Lucifer, meaning lightbringer or morning star, was traditionally understood to refer to a Babylonian king, but later, Christian interpretations link this figure to Lucifer's fall from grace, where he would thereafter be known as Satan, the figurehead of all the other demons. Now, because a third of the angels had joined Lucifer in his rebellion, it is believed that these angels were cast out of heaven with him, and that these angels, these fallen angels who are now evil, form his legion of demons. Some attempt to back this up by quoting Matthew 25:41, where we are told, "Then God will say to those on his left, 'Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels.'" With this, there's an effort to establish hell as being prepared for Satan and his angels. And it's the possessive his angels that makes it clear these are no longer God's angels. They belong to Satan now. In fact, you might go a step further and say that these are not angels at all anymore, because of how far they have fallen from God's grace. And so, it would be appropriate for some communities to simply label them as having become demons. Revelation makes this same distinction, referring to Michael as having his angels and the devil of having his own angels. From such verses, there are those who believe that fallen angels, the ones who sided with Satan, are synonymous with demons, or at the very least, that they became demons. One idea I've come across does try to disprove this theory, and works under the basis that if the fallen angels did not require a body when they were still loyal to God, why is it that once they have fallen and find themselves on earth, they suddenly need one? To be more specific, in the Gospel of Matthew, we are told that there is a man who is possessed by a legion of demons, and that when Jesus met him, he cast these demons from him, arguably evidence of a biblical exorcism. When these demons are cast out, they appear to be anxious and desperate to be returned to some kind of physical vessel. The Bible tells us, "Now there was a herd of many pigs feeding at a distance from them. And the demons begged him, saying, 'If you are going to cast us out, send us into the herd of pigs.' And he said to them, 'Go.' And they came out and went into the pigs. And behold, the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea, and drowned in the waters." With this passage, there's an argument that if angels didn't need to possess bodies before, they wouldn't need to do so now. Therefore, this could be used as evidence that the two are not synonymous. On the other hand, there are those who suggest that after they'd fallen from grace, the fallen angels, including Lucifer, lost their graceful and beautiful appearance, and that they underwent some kind of transmutation that turned them into demons, those that now required some kind of physical abode in order to function. Another effort to discredit the idea that demons are fallen angels comes from Jude 6, where we are told, "And the angels who do not keep their positions of authority, but abandon their proper dwelling, these he has kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day." Here, Jude seeks to tell us that those same angels who joined Lucifer's rebellion are now bound in darkness by God with everlasting chains and remain there until the end times. If this is the case, then these cannot be demons, for they are securely imprisoned. Others poke holes in this theory with several suggestions, including the idea that these angels escaped and then became demons, or that not all the angels who fell with Satan were imprisoned here, but only a few chiefs and generals. After all, we know Satan is free, so why would God imprison all the angels but allow their leader to roam free? Others point out that Jude might be referring to the Watchers found in Enochian legend, or the sons of God that appear in Genesis chapter 6. This leads us quite nicely onto the Book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish text that provides one of the most explicit accounts of the fall of angels. It describes a group of angels known as the Watchers, who descended to the earth and sinned by mating with human women, producing a race of giants known as the Nephilim. These fallen angels are said to have taught humanity forbidden knowledge, and were punished by God by being cast into an underground prison known as the Dudael, said to be situated east of Jerusalem. Their sons, the race of giants known as the Nephilim, would go on to create carnage upon the earth until they are later exterminated by the flood, which in this narrative is brought about specifically to drown them. Now, if we consult the Book of Giants, an apocryphal book that expands upon the fate of the Nephilim, we are told that after the Nephilim are drowned and or killed by the archangels, it is their spirits that become the demons that now inhabit the earth, where they exist to hurt and harm humanity. The early Christian theologian Origen of Alexandria developed a complex theology around fallen angels, arguing that all demons were originally angels, who fell due to pride or lust. This is unanimous with Augustine of Hippo, one of the most influential theologians in Christian history, who in his writings, particularly in The City of God, argued that demons were the angels who chose to rebel against God alongside Satan. The theory that demons are fallen angels has been interpreted and expanded upon by various theological schools throughout history. While the basic premise remains the same across many traditions, there are nuances in how different religious groups understand this relationship. In mainstream Christian theology, demons are typically understood as angels who fell from grace due to their rebellion from God. The Catholic Church, for instance, teaches that demons were created as good angels but became evil by their own free will. St. Thomas Aquinas, in his Summa Theologica, delves deeply into the nature of demons, proposing that, like angels, they are purely spiritual beings with great intellect, but lack corporeal form. He asserts that their fall was the result of pride, which led them to desire equality with God. Protestant traditions generally hold similar views, though there's a variation in the emphasis on demonic activity. Some branches, particularly the Pentecostal and the Charismatic movements, emphasize the real and present danger of demonic forces in the world, engaging in spiritual warfare to combat their influence. In Judaism, the idea of demons as fallen angels is less pronounced than in Christianity. The Hebrew Bible mentions various spiritual beings, including angels and harmful spirits, but does not provide a detailed account of a rebellion in heaven. Later Jewish texts, particularly in the Talmud and Kabbalah, expand on the concept of demonic forces, but these are often seen as agents of divine justice, rather than independent, rebellious beings. In Islam, there's also a belief in both angels and jinn, spiritual beings created by God. Jinn are often equated with demons in Christian thought, but they are distinct from angels in that they have free will and can either be good or evil. According to Islamic tradition, the leader of the jinn is Iblis, often compared to Satan, who refused to bow to Adam and was cast out of heaven. Some Islamic scholars argue that Iblis was a jinn, not an angel, as angels in Islam do not have free will and cannot disobey God. This distinction separates Islamic views of demons from the Christian notion of fallen angels, though there are still many thematic similarities. In Neoplatonic thought, demons were seen as intermediaries between the divine and human realms, though not necessarily evil. The philosopher Plotinus believed that demons could be either good or bad, depending on their alignment with divine will. This differs from the Christian view, where fallen angels are inherently malevolent. One only needs to consider the likes of Ars Goetia, otherwise known as the Lesser Key of Solomon, where we are shown a variety of 72 demons that aren't all that bad. In fact, many of the demons in this classification appear as being helpful or otherwise beneficial to those who commune with them. Other classifications, including Johann Weyer's Pseudomonarchia Daemonum or Colin de Plancy's Dictionary Infernal, show demons in a similar light, of which some are deadly and wicked, but others are intellectual or compassionate. These demons are not referenced in scripture, and to the everyday believer, these demons would be considered fictional or otherwise heretical to acknowledge or commune with. So are demons fallen angels? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and any theories you might have about these spiritual creatures. As always guys, if you've enjoyed today's episode, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. Until next time.